Hello and welcome to the third episode of Let's Shop for a New Wireless Router in 2021 series. This is where I share with you the step-by-step process of how I personally would choose and buy a new wireless router. In the first episode, we checked out the budget wireless routers and realized unfortunately right now there is no good budget wireless router out there which is better than my own router. So in the second episode, we looked into the mid-range routers, and even though we found some good ones, I decided that I should also check out the high-end routers and see what options are available there too. And that's what we're gonna do in this video. But before we start, I just need to quickly mention that by a high-end wireless router, I mean it should be more than $200 on Amazon.com and at the time of making this video. Now, because this way there is pretty much no limit on how expensive the router is, I figured as a pre-qualification rule, I want to make sure I can somehow justify the price of the router. In other words, if it is just too expensive, it should make sense to me why I should pay that much. And I'll talk more on that at the end of this video. And finally, this is not a sponsored video and it is completely based on my perspective and priorities when I'm buying a new wireless router. And obviously other people might have different opinions, which is great and I respect that. Now, without further ado, let's begin. So these are the wireless routers that made it to the first round of my shopping list. As you might already know, this is where they're gonna be compared with each other in 8 different categories, and the 3 with the highest points will make it to the next round. The first category is ports and interfaces. But as you can see, the situation is very different than what we had in the previous 2 videos. I'm gonna give 10 points to the ASUS RTAX 89X because it has tons of ports, 2 USB 3.1, 8 LAN ports, 1 WAN port, and an Ethernet port which could be used either as LAN or WAN. But unlike the other ones, this is a 10 gig port, not a 1 gig port. I was also surprised to see an SFP Plus port which is fiber optic and is also 10 gigabits per second. Next category is CPU and RAM. Again, I'm gonna give the highest score to the AX89X because it has a 2.2 GHz quad-core processor plus 1 GB of RAM. Next highest scores will be given to the ones with 1.8 GHz quad-core processors, but first to the ones that have core processors and then to the rest of them. Category 3 is Wi-Fi technology. I'm gonna give 10 to these 2 routers that are tri-band Wi-Fi 6 and have the theoretical Wi-Fi speed of 11,000 megabits per second. Category 4 is features. If you have followed this series, you probably know by now that I really like the features that are available in most of the ASUS routers that we've seen so far. The same story goes for these ASUS routers as well. There are minor differences between them, so I'm gonna give 10 to the ones that support Alexa and IFTTT and 9 to the rest of them. The TP-Link routers usually come with simpler and not very professional features, but these are different because they either come with a home care kit or a home shield kit. I like the home care better because unlike the home shield, it is completely free. Next category is operation modes. Here, the same as in the previous episodes, the ASUS routers get the highest points as well. I personally have used my own ASUS router in every one of those modes at some point, and I really appreciate the routers that allow you to change the operation modes easily and use your router as a different device. Category 6 is security. I was expecting more or less similar security features in the ASUS routers, but I actually got surprised to know that these ASUS routers do not have the OpenVPN server or client, or at least according to their website, they don't. So I actually contacted ASUS support just to make sure that's true. But the person that I talked to didn't know the answer either. And he told me somebody who knows the answer will get back to me. But as of yet, nobody has contacted me. So I guess for now, I just have to rely on their website. Next category is support for third-party firmware. So based on the pattern we've seen in this series, it looks like the more we move towards the high-end wireless routers, the less of a chance that they support any third-party firmware. And here, as you can see, we have only 3 ASUS routers that support the ASUS WRT Merlin, and that's it. The last category is price, and the highest score will go to the ASUS RTAX82U, obviously because it is the least expensive one. Okay, so I guess there's a lot to talk about here. But before we even get to the winners of this sort of competition, I would like to take a moment and talk about why there were only TP-Link and ASUS routers on my list and no other brands. Well, the answer is rather simple, because there was only room for 10 routers and I just had to choose the most qualified ones. So basically whatever which is not on that list, for one reason or another, did not qualify. For example, Linksys, which used to be a very well-known wireless router manufacturer maybe around 10-15 years ago, and I'm sure a lot of you remember that Linksys router very well. Unfortunately, currently they're not making very exciting wireless routers. And the Linksys MR9600, which is one of their high-end wireless router and is not very cheap either, doesn't even have a VPN server. Or in the case of Netgear, the problem that I had was their price tag. That's a Netgear RAX200, which is very similar to the ASUS GTAX 11000, because they're both Wi-Fi 6, tri-band, and have the theoretical Wi-Fi speed of 11,000 megabits per second. But I personally like the features that come with the ASUS better. Now, when I compare their price on Amazon, the Netgear just happened to be $120-ish more than the ASUS. I'm not sure about you, but it just doesn't make sense to me why I should pay that extra money for that router. Okay, so now let's go back to the routers and talk about the winners. Hi, just wanted to quickly say that ASUS support replied, and they confirmed that those 4 routers support the OpenVPN. See ya. Well, that is good news and bad news at the same time. Good news because I really liked the OpenVPN and I was kind of getting worried why ASUS had removed it from some of its routers. And bad news because now I have to change some of the scores. Which means that I'm gonna give back the 2 points that I had removed from these 4 routers. Fun fact, so after ASUS replied to me, they also corrected the information of those 4 routers on their website. Okay, so the winner of Best High-End Wireless Router in 2021 is the ASUS RTAX86U. Oh, in my opinion. I mean, why not? It's a powerful device, 1.8 GHz quad-core processor plus 1 GB of RAM. Obviously, it's not the fastest wireless router in the world, but still very fast. Definitely more than what I need here. It also has a multi-gig Ethernet port, which might come in handy soon. And in the second place, we have the ASUS RTAX89X. That's an interesting and sort of a unique router because the ports that are available in it are very interesting. But do I really need that many ports? Because it's kind of expensive. And in the third place, we have the ASUS GTAX 11000. I mean, it's Wi-Fi 6, tri-band, and have the theoretical Wi-Fi speed of 11,000 megabits per second. I mean, what else do I want, huh? Maybe something less expensive? Because let's be honest, that's a lot of money. But wait a second, hear me out. I can almost buy 2 of these for the price of 1 of those. But in that case, I will have combined twice the processing power, twice the ports, and some sort of a quad band phenomenon. So I guess what I can learn from the whole situation is the fact that the ASUS RTX 86U is a good value for money. Why? Because even though it's a lot cheaper than that, it has the same processor, same ports, more or less the same features. The main difference is its Wi-Fi, which is good, but just not as good as that. So I guess if I'm happy with its Wi-Fi, which I am, then I should buy that one. Oh my god, I think we did it. I was able to finally find a good and proper and well-deserved replacement for my current wireless router. So I was actually gonna buy this router at the end of this video, but it is sold out everywhere. So I guess I just have to wait and see what happens. I'm also gonna add some links in the video description in case you wanna have the most updated information about the wireless routers we talked about in this video. Because some stuff might change sooner or later, especially their prices, which is something that can change on a daily basis. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it if you think others might like it too. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you again, and I will see you soon.